If you find yourself wondering how long does a job search take, how disruptive is it going to be, what are the parts and pieces, then you are in the right place. Today I'm going to take you through my one-page job search that I created because I had so many requests to understand how long a job search takes, what is the scope of an effective job search, and what can I expect. I put together this one-pager several years ago because I thought it would help my clients have everything in one place. When you are in a job search, it is so important to keep your nerves down, feel confident about what you're doing because it is a lot of hard work and you want to know that there is an end in sight. Part one, I'll take you to the very top where you see a gray line and it's something of a timeline. Here's what you can expect. A thorough, productive job search that will yield you several different options or opportunities can take anywhere from 4 to 9 months. And this is a little bit of a hard truth, but it's an important thing to wrap your head around. And what you will see here is that the numbers I put, month 1 to 2, month 2 to 4, they're roughly linear because a job search goes somewhat in order, but it also bounces back and forth. You might be well developed in your job search, but then you get a new lead that takes you in a new direction. And so you go back to the beginning. So a loose timeline of 4 to 9 months. Next, you'll notice on the left is a yellow triangle, and it is going from wide to narrow, and that is for a very specific reason. At the beginning of a job search, people often say, I'm open to anything, and that is really the wrong place to begin. The more you can understand about what you are good at, what you can contribute in a job, and where you want to do that job, that will help you get traction with potential hiring managers and also with the people who can help you network your way to those hiring managers. I always point people to 3 things. Number 1 is assessments. Whether it is a Myers-Briggs or a StrengthsFinder 2.0 or a social style, take some assessments. And what this will do is it'll help you figure out, what am I good at? Where am I less good? Where should I focus my energy? The next thing is self-assessment. And for that, you take those strengths that you've learned about, you think about where you've seen them in action historically in your career. When you've been thriving and doing well in your career, which of those strengths have been at play and what has it helped you to contribute? The third piece is getting some feedback. If you can ask your former colleagues, even your friends, what do you see me good at? Where do you see me at my best? What do you come to me for? That can be a very powerful thing because it's people telling you and giving you in real time what it is that they see about you that they really appreciate. So with those 3 things, assessment, self-reflection, and 360 feedback, what tends to happen is you start to see evidence that is multidimensional about what you are good at and where you could really make an impact. Which takes us to the middle piece where you see target and the impact statement. And a target is not one job at one company. A target is a role in a geographic area within an industry. And basically what you're doing here is you're saying, let's say I want to be a marketing manager for a large food company. So that could be anything from Pepsi to Coca-Cola to Frito-Lay. Then below the target, you see the impact statement. And the impact statement basically says, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I can do for you. And for help on that, I go very much in depth in my quick start guide to taking charge of your career, and you can find the link for that in the comments below. The impact statement is important not just for when you're in front of a hiring manager or when you're at an event or when you are at your target person for networking. It's also incredibly important to be communicating to the people who know you, your colleagues, your former colleagues, your friends, so that they have a short, succinct statement that they can use on your behalf. So that takes us to where the eye of the needle begins to expand, and we get into the numbers game. And there's a few parts about the numbers game that are very important. Number 1, this is where you say, yes, I am willing to talk to anybody. And this is where you are less picky. Maybe your top 2 or 3 companies, you're not going to get to speak to them right away. You're going to have to speak to the companies that are smaller, that maybe you feel that they're not exactly where you'd want to work. It's very important to be open to these now because you need practice interviewing. You don't want to be in front of your dream company when it is your absolute first interview. Once you've identified your target and then get as many interviews with companies that fit that target as you possibly can. The second important piece of the numbers game is the idea of networking. And a lot of people think networking is only about getting in front of your target hiring manager. But networking also means revisiting friends, colleagues, former colleagues, and communicating to them your impact statement and what your very targeted goal is now. And this is not to be underestimated because a lot of people avoid networking. It's a very challenging part of the job search. But if you can make it be a softball and make it easy for yourself by revisiting people that you know, who've worked with you, who know and like you, think about seeing them again, circling back with them, but this time with your very effective target and impact statement. The third part of the numbers game is to keep a company grid. And this will help you keep all of your activity organized, and it will also help you prepare for the conversations that you're having. Take out a spreadsheet. Column 1 is the company name. Column 2 is the CEO or any key people. Column 3 is the head of the department that you're interested in. Column 4 is any contacts that you know at that company. And then column 5, I call in the news. What is that company dealing with? What are their concerns? What are economic and consumer dynamics that may be affecting those organizations? Keeping track of all of that in one place on a company grid. The very last piece is the blue box that says interview and follow-up. And underneath that, it says generate and manage 6 to 10 conversations. This is when you are in a job search, you've been at it for a while, a few months already, and you're beginning to get momentum. And I know in the beginning it can be daunting. You say, wow, how am I going to get 6 to 10 conversations when I can barely even get one? They build up. They build up over time. You get better at it. You talk to more people with your specific target. And eventually, if you keep at it, you're going to begin to generate more conversations. And the reason the number is 6 to 10 is that leads can dry up for reasons completely beyond your control. And so having a minimum of 6 really helps. Now, these don't all have to be robust, active conversations. They can be anything from somebody sent your resume to HR, you actually had an informational interview with HR, and they know you, you are on their radar. Maybe there's not an opening right now, but they are aware of you. And this can go all the way to you got to finals in an interview, they chose somebody else, but you want to be really professional and nice and positive and follow up with them and say how much you enjoyed meeting everybody, how the company felt like a wonderful fit, and that you look forward to hearing of any openings that might come up in the future. And the very last piece, which you'll see at the bottom, is the gray arrow that says managing your mindset. And this is critical because job search is difficult. It's not fun for most people. It is a time where you have to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable. You have to deal with rejection. It's not easy. And so the more you can really think about self-care, managing your mindset, the more it will be not as onerous. So things to do are obviously exercise, be in nature, see your friends, continue to do the things that energize you in life. This is not a time, of course, some people will think, well, I'm on a budget now, so I have to really scale back. Be careful that you don't scale back so much that you lose your energy, because that is the worst thing that can happen in a job search. One of my favorite tools for job search, for sort of keeping things positive, is what I call the appreciative inquiry exercise. So on a Friday at the end of the week, after you've been hopefully a little bit productive, even if you've only done a couple of things, give yourself credit for them by doing the following. Take out your calendar, pick out the 3 to 5 things that felt like an accomplishment this week, even if they were small. And you're going to answer 4 questions. Number 1, what was the accomplishment? Number 2, why was it important? Let's say you reached out to 3 people this week. Even if you didn't get any feedback or any response, it's still important because every no gets you closer to the yes. Number 3, what would further progress look like? So maybe further progress for you would look like, well, next week I'm going to write to 5 people or 3 more. But further progress might be, you know what? One of them is going to write back to me, and that's going to happen because I'm going to follow up with them next week. And then the 4th question is, what, if any, are the immediate next steps? So what are the follow-up steps, if any? There you have it, my one-page soup to nuts job search overview. And my goal with this is to really help you understand what are the elements, make it predictable, ease some of the tension and the pressure that goes with doing an effective job search. If you want the deep dive into how to create the messages that are going to get you noticed and help you move through this process, go ahead and click on the link below and take a look at my quick start guide to taking charge of your career.